Hey guys, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is books that changed my life. And I know that this sounds like kind of dramatic, but I strongly believe that books have the power to change us, and I think that that is one of the greatest things about reading. Words are powerful and they really have an effect on you, and these are just books that really have stayed with me through the years and have made me question things that I believe in and, just change the way I think about the world and myself. And I just wanted to mention 7 books that have personally changed my life, and I'm grateful for them, and I love these books to death, so let's get started. So the first book I want to mention that changed my life is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This book I read in January of 2014, and after I read this book, I became obsessed with reading, and I really credit this book to getting me obsessed with reading in the first place. Like, if it wasn't for this book, I don't know if I would be as avid of a reader as I am today if it wasn't for this book. Because of this book, I looked up a ton of other adult thrillers that I wanted to read because I was so interested in this style of writing. Before I had ever read Gone Girl, the most amount of books I had ever read in a full year was about 13 books. And then in 2014, I read 13 books in 1 month. Really got me into reading, is what I'm just trying to say. And it also introduced me to a lot of other really amazing adult thrillers that I never would have read if I didn't read Gone Girl. So, I love this book. Alright, the second book that has changed my life is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I picked this one specifically because of Kath, the character. I have personally never been able to relate to a character as much as I've related to Kath. In this book, she's in her first freshman year of college, and when I read this book, I was in my first freshman year of college. So it was even more relatable in that sense, like this fear of like, now you're an adult, now you have to grow up, and here you're just getting thrown out into the world. And the fact that like she writes fan fiction with her sister is like something that I used to do with my sister. I mean, I did it when I was in middle school with my sister, and we used to write like Jonas Brothers fan fictions together, and it was such a wonderful time in my life to like look back on. Like, I'll never forget those days. I just think that that's so insanely relatable that she does that in this book too. Not only that, but I just think Kath really truly gets it about what it's like to be kind of like a social outcast and not really know your place in the world and trying to like fit in with people that you just feel like you're living someone else's life sometimes, She has this amazing quote where she says real life was something happening in her peripheral vision. It's been one of my favorite quotes of all time now because that's something that just captures the way it feels so perfectly. Real life was something like she wasn't even really like paying attention to because she was so involved in her fan fiction in this like fantasy world that she doesn't want to like focus on her reality. Made me feel so much less alone in the way I feel about being awkward and being like a loner sometimes, and love it. She gets it. Love this book. The third book that has changed my life is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alir Sines. Read this in June of 2014, and that was right when I started my Bookstagram, and this was like the first book I reviewed on my Bookstagram account, and not only that, but I just remember it because of that too, and that's special to me. Also because Aristotle is like one of the most relatable characters, and I love how this book talks about how sometimes friendships can make you feel even more lonely. Sometimes being around your friends can even make you feel more alone. Sometimes people experience pain for no reason at all. Also, just the way this book is written so lyrically and beautifully, it inspires me so much. Alright, the fourth book on my list of books that have changed my life is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. And this one is probably no surprise, and it has changed my life for similar reasons to the other two, but I think that this book would have meant so much to me in my freshman year of high school if I had read it then, because I can relate to Charlie so much. As a freshman in high school, it just brought back all those feelings like of how much I hated high school. The book also has some of my favorite quotes of all time. I mean, obviously I like tabbed the hell out of this thing because there's just so many wonderful moments and so many great quotes that comes from this. My favorite quote of all time comes from this book. So this is my life, and I want you to know that I'm both happy and sad, and I'm still trying to figure out how that could be. People can be happy and sad at the same time, and it's okay. This book just means so much to me. It's such a great story, and Charlie is like such a great character. It's so relatable. Ugh, love this book. The next book on my list is Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma. The main reason though is that this book really changed my perspective on certain things, and I think it made me more of an open-minded person. This book just took me on a roller coaster of emotions. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. This book has like stayed with me throughout the years. Like I always just think about this book randomly and just feel so many feelings. And now I consider people's situations like a lot more before I judge whatever they're going through, you know? The 6th book on my list is Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. This is probably one of my all-time favorite romance stories now, if not my all-time favorite romance story. In this world that we're living in, there's so much like sadness and hate around us constantly. People around us are getting divorces left and right, and you're hearing about people cheating on each other and being unfaithful, and it's just like, it's so easy to just give up all hope that love can ever last, you know? And then it's books like this that make me feel so hopeful and make me feel like love is real. This book reminds me that some people are just meant to be together, and I think that that's really beautiful. Reamps my inner romantic. Love this book. And the last book on my list of books that have changed my life is my most recent read. That is We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. And after I read this book, this is what inspired me to make a video like this in the first place, because I just knew that this book was going to change my life. I just read it last month, but I already know it has. And I think that this book changed my life because it helped me rediscover the meaning of life. This book really captures the meaning of life, like why we're doing what we're doing. You know, sometimes we feel like it doesn't even matter, you know, anything that we do, because in hundreds of years when we're all dead, it's not going to matter, you know, like everyone's going to forget us eventually, like we never really left our impact on the world. But then this book dives into the meaning of life and how beautiful it can be, and like how we should enjoy our experiences while we're here, because we're only here for so long. And you know, this is just such a beautiful, beautiful story. We have to live in the moment because tomorrow is never promised, type of thing, you know? It just reminded me of all those things. And Henry is one of my favorite characters ever. He's just so wonderful, and I just have so many feelings for him, and I love him with all my heart, and this book just definitely changed my life. So those are all of the books that have changed my life in one way or another. I think that it's really special when a book can change your life. I think that that's one of the best things in the world, when like a book can really have that big of an impact on you, because that's like the whole reason why we like reading in the first place, right? We want to connect and we want to relate. We want to remember it, and we want it to change the way we think about ourselves and the world. Sorry if this got a little preachy. I wanted to mention some books that I really love. Thank you for watching as always. I'll be uploading new videos soon, and I'll see you guys next time.
Up here, anywhere I go, there you are. Anywhere I go, there you are.
Consider people's feeling. I don't know how to say it. Forbidden by Tahara, I was gonna say Tahara Mafi, is Forbidden by Tabitha oh my god.